global truth. There seems to be no justice for Shanqualla Robinson. There will be no federal prosecution. When this situation first occurred, where Shanqualla Robinson attended a vacation in Mexico with some so-called friends of hers. They went to a villa, San Jose del Cabo. She was totally out of her safety zone. And footage went all over the internet. It went viral. And we later on learned that everything was centered around jealousy. And it's something that I said in that video that seems to be true when I said that they're showing us that it's open game on The Chosen. Shanqualla Robinson was the prototype of a woman who was intelligent enough to start her own business. She was heavily involved in her entrepreneurship. She was doing what she needed to do, but she was naive, believing that she can trust her so-called friends when they really hated all her accomplishments. They hated everything she stood for and everything that she represented. And now the words that I said in that stream seem to ring true when I said that they showed us that it's open game on those who are doing the right thing, those who are chosen, those who are thinking outside the box, those who are preparing for what's to come by being set apart, being active, putting their hands to the plow and doing what needs to be done. Because now there seems to be some high levels of corruption going on right now. And the feds are no longer going to be involved in this investigation. And it seems that, contrary to what we've been told, that the initial autopsy report seems to be, I guess, incorrect, according to what the news is saying. So now we have a situation in which we can only wonder who's corrupted. Is it the feds? Or is it those in Mexico who did the initial autopsy report? I believe that it's corruption all around the board. I think the rabbit hole goes a lot deeper than what we would ever imagine. I believe that Shanqualla Robinson was a cult sacrifice. I believe that she was what we would call a ritual killing. And anytime the media gives us a snuff film, there's an agenda involved. They want people to see something because we're living in a fear-based, trauma-based culture and society. So it was a message to those individuals who practice these ritual killings that it's safe grounds for them to get people outside of the states, lure them to certain areas, and do the unspeakable. Let's see what the news have to say, and let's use our discernment to see what's going on here.
Details in the Shanqualla Robinson case signal for a setback for her family. Authorities now say they will not file federal charges in the case. The 25-year-old from Charlotte died last year while on vacation in Mexico. Her death has been shrouded by mystery. And
now I want to know how her death has been shrouded in mystery when we have footage of this young lady being brutally beaten. Where we have video, we seen what took place in 8K. It went viral in 8K. Where's the mystery at here? Why are none of these assailants being brought into questioning? Why is this able to happen? I tell you why. Because this system is vouching and working on behalf of the 2/3 of our people. See, there's a war going on with 2/3 of the unholy ones going against those who have been chosen, those who are being set apart. Not saying that Shanqualla Robinson was an angel. None of us are angels. But there's a certain spirit in certain people that is being targeted. And I believe Shanqualla was one of those people. And it's more than what meets the eye. In these instances, family can be involved. You know, even your business associates can be involved. Everyone's involved. It's almost like the movie Rosemary's Baby, where everybody is lining you up all at once. Where there's connections with the Eastern Stars. There's connections with the Freemasons. There's connection with local law enforcement. There's even connection with feds. We're talking about corruption on a grand level in order to push the agenda. We got to begin to see that this is warfare. And that if you are an individual who is trying to do something good for yourself, if you're trying to make something of yourself, you got to remain focused on your goals. You cannot trust these people out here. Nobody can be trusted. Even in your death, there's no justice for the righteous. Now, these kind of stories bother me. They bother me because I would like to see those people get thrown under the jail. I would like to see eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth for the individual who recorded it, for the individual who was hurting that woman the way she was. So these kind of stories bother me because I yearn for justice. I want the scales to be balanced. And I think most of us would like that. But one thing I got to remind myself is in Ecclesiastes 3:17, it says, I said in mine heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked. But there is a time there for every purpose and for every work. I had to constantly read that scripture to myself. I had to constantly go over that because this story troubled me in heart. And I have to realize that the Most High is going to bring all things into works. Even though things may look a certain way and it may look dismal to a lot of brothers and sisters, we got to realize that the Almighty is in control. And all of these Masons, perps, weirdos, skinwalkers, feds, agents, the Most High God is going to bring judgment to all of them. But it's our responsibility to show just how far the world has slipped down the abyss. So there's no excuse.
a now viral video shows her being beaten prior to her death. Queen City News anchor Derek Dellinger is live in Uptown.
Now, how can we say it's shrouded in mystery when there's a viral video surfaced showing what happened?
Where the Robinson family attorney spoke today. And Derek, this is just such a disheartening news for the family that's fought so hard to seek justice.
Yes, they have fought so hard, and simply put, the lawyer for the family told us today that they are disappointed but not deterred. But there's still a way for charges to possibly come in the case. Shanqualla Robinson's family walked into the FBI field office.
Now, I would like to know how. How could there be charges in place? See, this is what they like to do, give these people false hope. That's if the family's not involved. I don't trust nobody. I don't trust any of it. No disrespect to the family. If they are truly mourning, may the Lord forgive me for what I just said. But at this point, when we see these type of killings, we can only spectate on who's all involved. And if the family is believing that there's somehow going to be some charges, the question would be how? How? When they allowed those people to leave out of Mexico, they were no longer under the jurisdiction of local law enforcement in Mexico. The real only hope of someone being charged with those crimes is federal prosecution. But what we've seen over here in the States is utterly shocking, because what we seen was these individuals making videos, literally. It became a reality show. The death of Shanqualla Robinson became a spectacle. We legit seen the people who were there, the people who were involved, making videos, explaining what happened in their side. You know, we seen all of it. It became a reality show, this woman's death, to show you that it was a ritual. It was theater. It was smoke and mirrors. Everything became the court of public opinion. And now the Fed's not even involved, although we were inundated and we were totally overwhelmed with the entire story. You telling me that the Fed's not involved in this? The game is dirty. That's why I be telling people, listen, people believe I'm turning heartless personally because I don't want to be around too many people. I'm on my solo move. It's not that I'm heartless, it's that I'm using my heart less. Because this world is sick and nobody can really be trusted out here, because it's so many desperate people who on demon time, who trying to line their pockets, get fortune and fame, that who can you turn to but the Almighty? It's best to keep a low profile. Don't put people in your business. Don't let people know what you got going on in your life. You know what I'm saying? Don't put your heart out there for people, and just do what you do. You understand? Real talk.
It's Wednesday, hopeful, but about an hour later walked out. There was a sense then that they were not happy with what they heard. Federal authorities saying federal charges would not be filed in her death. It's a blow to a case that has gained national and international attention. Robinson, a young Charlotte woman on vacation in Cabo San Lucas, who reportedly was seen on video being assaulted by someone she knew before she died.
Justice delayed can be justice denied. We all know
justice is being denied. But for what reason? Who's all involved in this? Now, we got new autopsy reports. I'm going to stop for a moment and I want to read the initial autopsy report that was done in Mexico, right? I want to read the initial autopsy report. And this is when it first happened, right? The autopsy of Shanqualla Robinson backs up assertions from Mexican law enforcement officials, her family, and lawyers who say the 25-year-old Charlotte woman death was violent and not caused by alcohol poisoning. It was not caused by alcohol poisoning, according to the initial autopsy report. Robinson traveled to a resort villa in San Jose del Cabo, Mexico, with 6 other people. On October 28th, she died a day later. Mexican officials have issued an arrest warrant for a charge of femicide, similar to homicide, for Dejanay Jackson, according to a recent letter sent to the top U.S. government officials by attorney Ben Crump and Suzanne Robinson. The U.S. not issued an arrest warrant, and the FBI investigation to Robinson's death is ongoing. Let's stop here. Ben Crump needs to be questioned. Suzanne Robinson needs to be in question. We're talking about top U.S. government officials. You know, they need to be questioned right now. Somebody need to interview them to see what is going on. Lawyers Robinson and Crump released publicly a copy of Shanqualla Robinson's autopsy along with the other records. So this autopsy is public, ladies and gentlemen. I have it on my screen. You know what? I'm gonna play a little bit more of the video, and I will show y'all the autopsy report, the initial autopsy report, so you can see that everything is cohesive. I do have that report, and then we'll talk about the new report, right? We'll go there. Let's just let's play this video first.
That and have seen it time and time again.
The family's lawyer, Sue Ann Robinson, spoke with the media after the meeting with federal officials. The U.S. Attorney's Office says they told the family that the evidence they had in the case did not support a federal prosecution. While it is a setback, it does essentially leave.
So the evidence they have on the case did not support federal prosecution, which means they're saying that the autopsy report is wrong, because the only evidence that would be on the table, brothers and sisters, would be the actual shocking video of them brutalizing this woman and recording it, and the autopsy report. It should be a open and closed case, right? Sean the Navigator says it seems like at least one of those two are always around when there's a melanated murder that goes national, especially Ben Crump. Exactly, sir. That's why I'm saying something is not right. There's some corruption going on. There's some true corruption going on. Let's see here. Let us continue.
One big option open for now for Mexico to order an extradition hearing. Robinson says that paperwork has been filed, but nothing has happened yet. Something she says is frustrating and something that she has seen more than she would like.
When there are Black and brown victims of crimes, there is a whole other set of things that have to be done than not.
The family says they are trying to chart a new path in the case. The case, they say, is cut and dry, and they want to know why the justice is not.
I mean, exactly. It's cut and dry. It's open and shut. The justice is not because there's a ritual involved. There's actually a movie that came out on Netflix called Ritual Killings, and it has Morgan Freeman in it. I want y'all to check that out. Morgan Freeman, Netflix, Ritual Killings. Because it tells you how individuals are lining people up internationally. And that's exactly what happened with Shanqualla Robinson's death. They're lining up victims. And there's no other reason why nobody is getting punished in this situation.
There has to be a high level of diplomatic intervention. Heads of state have to talk to heads of state.
And you know, what kind of message is this setting for all of the women, the melanated women here in the country? What message is this setting from the U.S. government and the feds? What? And I want y'all to participate. I want this to be interactive. Because what is the government, what is the feds trying to tell you melanated women who travel overseas? They're trying to tell you that if something happened to you overseas, there will be no justice for you. If you were to be kidnapped, if you were to be held ransom, if something was to take place with you overseas, listen, the same country that seems to empower you while you're here, right? give you certain positions of authority. They're letting you know that if you go out of town, you go to Cabo, you go to Brazil, you go to these various places, you on your own, ladies. You melanated women are unprotected. You're on your own. It's best you start plugging in with righteous, get yourself a husband and chill out with all this hot girl summer stuff. Especially when you traveling with these homegirls that you think is your day ones and thinking that's really down for you. A lot of y'all women don't understand the people around you are jealous. Some of them women are witches. Some of them women are into the occult. Some of them women are in the hoodoo, voodoo, sanguinalia, and everything else under the sun. And they can't wait to meet the hoodoo doctor overseas and line you up. The time is now for y'all to really get focused on what your goals are and get those toxic people out of your life. Because the world is under a demonic frequency where they're going to protect its own. The world love its own. They love these venomous wolves, these venomous vipers. They love these snake in the grass type of people who ready to set you up and line you up. There's protection for them. Even on a Fed level, it's protection for them. How you think Jay Prince Senior and Junior is walking the streets? And nobody's been brought to justice. But Takeoff is gone. Why do you think that is? Somebody said that movie is no longer on Netflix. Wow, they must have just took it off. You know what? I don't think it's on Netflix. It may be on Amazon Prime. Ritual Killings may be on Amazon Prime, but it has Morgan Freeman in it. He talks about how they set up these plays overseas.
And say, listen, this is what it is. This is what happened. It's on video. We can't have U.S. citizens do this. Cannot occur. How are we going to resolve this?
No, that's a slap in the face to you melanated women. It's a slap in the face to the U.S. citizens. How could this, be on camera? Open and shut case, but there's no justice. Real sick stuff going on.
So what is next? There are still some meetings that still need to be taking place in D.C. There also is coming up on May 19th, a march to the State Department that's going to be happening in honor of Shanqualla.
Yeah, we had enough marching. This is just sad, right? But the autopsy reports are available. I can pull it up for you. Let me see. Let me share it on the screen just to show you that these things are available. Right? Let me see. Here go the initial autopsy report. These are lawyers' letters to President Biden on Shanqualla. All this stuff is available online. I'm trying to go to the cause of death and get right to it. And this is the initial autopsy report. I mean, I don't know what happened. I don't know if the feds, they came in and said, hey, we're going to sweep this one under the rug. And here's the autopsy report. External examination of the cadaver. It goes on to say her cause of death initially was edemus, which is hemorrhaging of the cerebellum. So a contusion to the head or concussion would be the initial cause of death. The initial cause of death would be some sort of concussion. Oh, and that's kind of small. You probably can't see that. But this is what it initially said. I mean, doesn't that line up for what happened? So it was head trauma that essentially took her out. But this is what's been updated. Let me also share with you all what's been updated, right? Because it's crazy how much confusion that they spread, where they can tell you something didn't happen, but they won't tell you what happened. It's just amazing what they get away with. And this is the update. New autopsy shows Shanqualla Robinson's spine was not actually broken. All right, it doesn't matter if her spine was broken or not. The question is, what was the cause of death? And if it was head trauma, shouldn't the person be held responsible? So what you got is these little games being played with everybody. Yep, somebody said, man, jealousy creates monsters. Right. So they saying that the findings contradict claims of Mexican authorities who said Robinson's spine was broke. And that's what's going around. They're basically trying to say, listen, none of this warrants federal prosecution because everything didn't line up with the Mexican autopsy, so we're not going to pursue this. This is how they do. This is how the media plays games, right? Why is the media protecting these people who killed this woman? Everybody is responsible. Everybody who was in that room is responsible. Why is the media covering this up? What is the purpose of this? Unless they're trying to show us that, listen, they're trying to tell the 2/3, the ritual killers, the demons, the devils, the meat suits. Hey, listen, if you lure somebody off of the plantation, you can do what you want with them. Is that what they're trying to tell these people? This is insane. So the updates go on to say, actually, we could play the video here so we can hear what the claims are.
Most child abuse is never reported.
Learn how you can help.
Be ready to report child abuse. Go to cacnc.org.
Be ready to report.
Now, more than 5 months after Robinson died, her family and their attorney say they are left with more questions than answers.
While we're here disappointed, we're not deterred. We're going to continue to press on.
According to the Justice Department, the decision not to pursue federal charges came after, quote, results of the autopsy and after a careful deliberation and review of the investigative materials by both the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI. The DOJ says the available evidence does not support a federal prosecution. Well, that autopsy the feds are referring to was done by the Mecklenburg County Examiner's Office in November and finally shared for the first time with WBTV today. And our Nikki Hauser has been digging into it and comparing that autopsy with the one conducted by Mexico authorities.
Now, they keep saying that the autopsy showed that her spine was intact. What does that have to do with anything, bro? If it was a discrepancy with her spine, and this is what they're honing in on, this is the focus, her spine. They're not telling you what was the cause of death. If any of the injuries that she received were attributed to the attack that was caught on camera. They're not even saying nothing about that. They're not saying anything about that. They're just saying, listen, according to our studies or whatever, our autopsy, her spine was in place. This is the games that this country play with the people. This is ridiculous, y'all. It's certain things that you see, it really, really gets under your skin because they question the intelligence of the people. And it's like, wow. I can't believe that people let these individuals get away with this. How did the woman die? Why the feds don't want to get involved? Just because of a possible mistake on the autopsy report? It's deflection. It's deflection 101.
The day after Robinson's death, and Nikki's with us live here. And Nikki, there's a huge discrepancy here.
Exactly, John. The findings from that U.S. autopsy conducted at the Mecklenburg County Medical Examiner's Office that we got in this afternoon contradicts claims that were initially made by Mexican officials the day after Shanqualla's death in what they call a partial autopsy. Now, what's being called into question, the major difference between these examinations has to do with the cause of Shanqualla's death.
Her attack was captured on video, and now we're being told that there isn't going to be an arrest.
So how did we get here? The day after Robinson's death in Cabo, Mexican authorities conducted what's called a partial autopsy, an examination of specific areas of the body. That autopsy found Robinson died from a broken neck. Robinson's Mexican...
That's not what the autopsy says. Ladies and gentlemen, I literally just pulled the autopsy up. It doesn't say that. It literally says a head injury. I'm literally looking at it. What are they talking about? The news is either misinformed or lying. It says location. It says type of injury. This is visible external injuries. It goes on to say direct contusion, frontal region of the head, right iliac crest, and left iliac crest. That was the blow that got her. It was a head blow. What are they talking about? They just, man, this is crazy, bro. Babylon, Babylon.
Death certificate, finalized a week after her death, is also clear. It says her cause of death was a severe spinal cord injury. But an autopsy conducted here in Mecklenburg County 3 weeks later has a critical difference. It says her spine was completely intact and ultimately concludes an undetermined cause of death.
Undetermined cause of death. Would you look at that? Undetermined. So this woman goes down there, gets lured out her safety zone, gets beat on camera. She has all kind of contusions and bruises on her body. And you telling me that the United States came, did their own separate autopsy and said the cause of death is undetermined. Undetermined. That's what they're going to tell the black community. You know what? I got to get off this stream because this is just pissing me off at this point, bro. This kind of stuff has me livid, how disrespectful they are to our people, bro. It's just it's the disrespect for me, bro. Let's finish playing this clip off, man. Hear more of this nonsense here.
However, the autopsy did note that Robinson suffered severe trauma to her head.
To her head.
Shows what appears to be Robinson involved in a...
It says she suffered severe trauma to her head, but you telling me that's not the cause of death. Wow.
Fight not long before she died, but the medical examiner was not able to determine what caused that trauma. The DOJ says federal charges cannot be pursued and that the government must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that a federal crime was committed.
We don't have a problem.
In a press conference Wednesday, Robinson's family attorney pushed back on that reasoning.
Because it cannot be that someone can go overseas and commit a crime against a U.S. citizen and come back and not be affected in any way.
No, I guess that's what it is now. They can do what they want. Hey, it is what it is, brothers and sisters. I just thought I'd cover this story. I don't see too many people really talking about this. This is kind of troubling. You know, I got more content coming, but I found it necessary to actually show you what the feds decided to do in this situation. Be careful when you're traveling. Be careful with the people you surround yourself with. You know, it seems to be no justice for Shanqualla Robinson. It's a damn shame. It's a blatant disregard for human life. It is pure madness. I don't know. the scales of this country are way off balance, man. Hey, listen, do what y'all got to do. Stay on your solo tip. Make the moves you need to make. Stay out the way. I love each and every one of y'all. Shalom and peace.